Hey guys, it's Gus, and there is a big problem in the game if you didn't notice. And it's not something minute. It's not, Dragonborns not being able to wear helmets. It's not Control Wizards being the absolute top damage dealers in the game like they were for an entire mod or two. It's not an upcoming lockbox that looks to be dead on arrival. These are all small issues, right? They're not far reaching problems. I think there's a much bigger, looming, long term problem in the game right now. And let me explain why. So, this mod, I think, is not a mod. It's called a mod, but we didn't get any new content. And I know people disagree. It's great, all the dragon flights for the new gears. I don't think, or dragon hunts for the new gears, I don't think the dragon hunt is worthy of being called a mod at all. And the gears we got on there were on par with all the other gears we've already had available in the game. Very little incentive except for increased item level. Same exact thing. Very few people are running unskilled content. So we have an empty mod. And then before that, we had almost the opposite of a mod, right? We had the mod where they took away multiple zones and added a bard. I would argue that the majority of the gameplay gamer base does not play bard. So if they don't play bard, then who cares about the bard being added to the game? uh, so now we're at where we're at now. There hasn't been anything to do in over a year, which led to something happening last night that I think is going to hurt the whole entire community. If you don't know who Brian Grovestreet is, he is arguably the greatest player to ever step foot in Neverwinter. He is amazing. And I know back in the day, Mod 2, Mod 6, yeah, there were amazing people too. But I don't know if anybody's done what Brian has done for so long, just wrecking everything he touches in an amazing way. And he's done it. I'm putting his page in the link below. If you're newer to this game and don't realize what we can do in the game, go check out his video. He soloed Vol Stars last week. Most teams are trying to do Tom. He did it with 3 players. Most teams are trying to at least finish Master Zerial. He did it with 4 players. He has the fastest solo time of every single dungeon in this game. I know a lot of people fail are racks. You hear about it every single day on Reddit and Facebook and Discord or whatever. They fail every day. He did them by himself. And not only did he do them by himself, he did them in times faster than most groups can do it in a 5-man group. He's just a trailblazer. Every build video he's put out has thousands of views. Extremely positive feedback. Almost nothing that he left out to make the builds any better. That's how good of a player he is. And I think him leaving Neverwinter doesn't just hurt his guild. It doesn't just hurt his alliance. It doesn't just hurt PS4. I think it hurts all 3 platforms because he has made everybody who's watched his videos even better. And people try to be better than him, which is great. Healthy competition is a great way to improve yourself. And he inspires people to do better. And he left. Did he leave because he found a better game? Did he leave because he had a world life catastrophic problem where he, did his PlayStation break? None of those. He's leaving because the game is making him leave. He has developed every challenge, every achievement that the game has not put in, trying to figure out some way to make this game fun again. Waiting, killing time for the game to do something that's worthy of his time. And they haven't in over a year. So he had to leave. I'm hoping he comes back if they're ever willing to make the game challenging again. I think it'd be great for the whole game if they did. But it's not just Brian. There's a lot of other Brians out there. End gamers. End gamers, the people who can host trials and get newer players through so they can get experience and help other players. The end gamers, the people that do trials on the day 1, day 2, day 3, and get the first completes they can get and then start helping other people get through. The end gamers who develop ways to do stuff everybody else is doing, but even better. These are the people contributing to the membership in the game. And when Brian leaves, doesn't just hurt his group. It hurts everybody else who's trying to get in those trials because they don't have the network to build a trial or the perfect guild that can run these trials and carry them through. There's a lot of people that say they're endgame because they got carried 3 or 4 times through Tom and got their Tom weapons in 3 runs and left their guild immediately afterwards and say they're experienced. He's not that guy. He's way classier than that. He's the guy that gets done, bored out of his mind, and somebody says, "Can you help me?" He says, "Let's get a team together. Let's go." But you could only do that so many hundreds slash thousands of times. It's exhausting. And what made it worse is these dungeons are not exponentially. They're extremely harder than what they were before this mod. They increased the difficulty dramatically. It is so much harder to get a new player through these trials. And what makes it worse is not only is it harder, you're not incentivized to because they said the incentives were improved. I call BS on that. I would love somebody to show me one way they improved the loot tables for these. Yeah, the Hallister's artifact set went from uncommon to legendary quality. Well, just as many people are going to buy it, regardless of the quality. Nobody, because they're useless, right? Very, very low power artifact set. Very unuseful for endgame content. They haven't improved any. They haven't given anybody a reason to run these endgame trials at all. They or actually they made them harder and they didn't give them anything for doing it. So now they used to have 2 rewards for doing it. They get the rewards from the chest and they get the intrinsic reward from feeling good about helping new players through. And if we're losing the players, the very few players left in the game that feel good about helping new players get through, who do we have left? We don't really have a lot of people left. So now we're going to be stuck with a whole new community of players who have not gotten to endgame, who want to be endgame, and they can't because the people that can help them get through don't want to run it because we're losing the Bryans of Neverwinter. He's that good. Anybody who's seen him play, anybody who's interacted with him, cannot deny that he is so damn good. And who knows how many Bryans we've lost because the game has forced them to leave. I'm gonna say my way forward. I'm not gonna slam them on the streams. I'm not gonna be negative. I don't think that does anything to improve the situation. I think they're trying to do the best with what they got. I don't think players need a whole lot to stay engaged, but we haven't gotten anything to stay engaged. This is borderline ridiculous to expect somebody to stay engaged at endgame at the current state of the game. And we need endgame players. Well, I don't. But everybody wants the end game, get to end game does. And I hope, but I have very little time to do that because I have other stuff I'm working on in the game. Very extremely time consuming workshop stuff. Still working on my pinatas for Summer Festival, right? This Saturday or Sunday, whichever day my wife lets me, I'm going to do a stream. I'm going to try to get 20 people their very first Tom runs. We'll see how that goes. Please join me when I announce that. I think you might have fun watching. But that's besides the point. The big point is Brian and the Bryans of Neverwinter are leaving. And the whole Neverwinter community needs them, even though they don't know them. They need them because if they want to get to where they want to get in the game, they can't do it without players like him. I hope it gets fixed. We shall see. I'm looking forward to your comments below. Stay classy, Neverwinter. See you soon.